Buenas tardes. Kami Saraki. Hello, how are you? Kami Saraki means, in my language, is the greetings. And it's the pre-Inca language that we are still using in the home where I live, close the Lake Titicaca. And Lake Titicaca is the highest navigable lake in the world. You know where I live? I said, close the haven, because it's the highest part of the world. You know, Lake Titicaca is the highest and navigable lake in the world, so it's very high. And places as Titicaca or less than Titicaca, as in here, no life. That's why I said I came from the place where the gods can help or close the haven. My name is Silvia Calisaya. I came from the Lake Titicaca, the highest part of the world. And around that place, people are preserving many things since pre-Incas. Probably you never heard about this, because when you hear about Peru, it's about the Incas. Inca Empire was very big in all South America, almost all South America, you know? And I think you heard about the Incas. Cusco, Machu Picchu actually is one of the wonders. But in the place where I live, the people are preserving many things since pre-Incas. And these are still Aymara people. Did you hear about the Aymaras? Probably not. Some people, they came my home, and I think they know actually about the Aymara people, that we are still living in that place. And these Aymaras are still preserving many things since the pre-Incas. I can say their style of life, the garb, the dresses, their beliefs as the language. You know, in that part, we are Catholics. Most of South Americans, we are Catholics. But you can understand why we are Catholics. Because we were forced. Because the panic of the Spaniards, we became Catholic quickly. And actually we said we are Catholics, but this is face outside. Inside, inner the heart, we are still preserving many things since the pre-Incas, or we are still doing our Andean beliefs. We are still offering ceremonies to all our deities. We do ceremonies for the Pachamama. I think probably you have heard about the Pachamama, the Mother Earth. We do ceremonies for the Mamacota, the Mother Lake, or the oceans, you know, the Cocha. And we do ceremonies for the Father Sun. We do ceremonies for the Mother Moon. We do ceremonies for all. And of course, Aymara people, we do syncretism. And you know what means the syncretism? The fusion between two beliefs. In one hand, we are Catholics, but in the other, we are still doing ceremonies to all our deities. And then they said, Aymara people, we are pantheists. What means the pantheism? To believe in many gods. And we are. We believe in our Pachamama, we believe in Christ because we were forced to be Catholics, and also we believe in our Father Son. We do ceremonies for virgins, so that's the pantheism, to believe in many gods. But the Andean people are still living with the Andean beliefs. And today what I want to talk about you is about more for women. And in my home place, people are still with the Andean beliefs, and people have still their own calendars, and this is strict followed by the people. And there are in the little communities mayors which we choose, and these mayors are still leading them into the ancient rules, into the ancient laws, and this kind of rules or laws started in the circular temples, as you can see. The most ancient belief or calendars started in the circular temples. In the world, we have many circular temples, you know. In my home place, there are still this kind of circular temples, as you can see. This is still, and you know, one of the very special circular temple we know is Stonehenge. Stonehenge in Aymara is Intihuatana. What means Intihuatana? Intihuatana means to tie the sun, to hitch the sun. So in the Intihuatana or in the Stonehenge, our ancients, they market their calendars. Actually, in my home place, people are still following this kind of calendars. They do, for example, the plowing, the sowing, the harvesting as the wedding. Because to be married in my home place is really serious, it's ever. No divorce. Because they follow strictly this kind of calendars. How they market their calendars? In the crosses. We have so many crosses in the world, as you can see. The solar cross is the beginning for learning the cross, I think, the solar cross. With the first cross, our ancients, they did understand how the world or the Pachamama was round. You know, it is clear the sun rises here and sets here, and how this come back, doing a big circle. So the world for our ancients, it was round. It was circular, round. And then you can see the first cross, which is the solar cross. Then we know the Celta cross. I think most of you know about the Celta cross. And the Svaltica cross. This cross is very special. Actually, we know Hitler was the one who used this Svaltica cross. But that was very ancient, and Hitler got for them. And the Egyptian cross, and the other one is the Catholic cross. But our ancients, the pre-Inca people, and also, of course, the Incas, they started with the cross. How? When we market the 4 directions in the solar cross, we will have the beginning of a cross. This is the cross that actually many people know as Inca cross. Was pre-Inca cross as well. And we call it Chakana. Chakana is the cross. Pre-Incas people started with this cross. Incas did 5 steps, 7 steps, till 12 steps. The crosses with 7 steps we found in a very sacred place that was same as Isha people, following the 7 chakras. One human being was very important for our ancients. But these crosses with 3 steps, the Chakana, we found in the places where the people market their calendars. How they market, and you can see there are here 3 steps, 3 steps, 3, 3, 12 all around. They said also this started for the most ancients, the pre-Incas. Some people say the Lemurians, and some people say the Egyptians, the Atlanteans, sorry. So a very ancient people, they learned about the cross and the rules in this. So there are 3, 3, 3, 3 to talk. And this will understand how was the rules for our ancients? This will help us to understand how people followed these rules, and until now they are still with this. Three first things. It was the 3 life rules Incas also used. Maybe the ones you visited Cusco, you have heard about this. And are just 3 life rules: love, work, service. We know love is very important for our ancients. They said we need to live in these 3 laws: love, work, and service. But we need to understand the inner meaning of this. What means love? What is love for us? Actually, many people are going seeking love. What is my love? Where I will find love? And to understand about love, for our ancients, love was really to be a children of one divine creator. So what means this? That we are brothers and sisters. And we are. And there was really, when we are brothers and sisters, actually most of the religious sects, they use this word as well, that they are brothers and sisters, you know. But for our ancients, all we were brothers and sisters. I think if you can go my home place, just to stay 1 week, probably the children can come to you and say, uncle or aunt, because they have still in the mind that you are the brothers and the sisters of the parents. Love is very important. And I think to understand about love, it's better to understand about the truth. Many people equate it. The opposite of love is hate, and the opposite of truth is lie. In a spiritual life, the opposite of both is fear. We fear many things. They said we fear our brothers, our sisters, we fear our fathers, our parents, we fear the neighbors, we fear the world, our husbands, our wives, we fear. But they said when you want to have the love, you need to confront your inner fears. Seek your fears. All these ones that you keep with your ego, you protect with your ego, all these ones that you sometimes keep with your daily life and put out. And then after this will come the forgiveness. Forgiveness is very hard. And when you do this, you will have self-love. I know there are so many things to talk about love, but I'm just pointing out because I want to point out more the feminine part. So love is important, you know. How about work? For what we work here? Money. Actually, they say that we are the new slaves of the work, and we work very hard. But for what? Money. You know what the money is doing? Rising up our ego. Sometimes we don't know how big is our ego. But this is protected with our necessities. We need so many things. We need a new car because my neighbor has a new car. I need a new machine. Actually, you use iPad, you need many things, the necessities. This is really protecting our ego. Sometimes we don't know how big is our ego, and we work for this. We said the money is leading us into the misunderstanding, into the hate, probably because the money is the war in the world, and we work hard for money. We want to work hard for money. Actually, we said we are the zombies working for money. Very hard, you know. Our ancients, they worked, but they had rules for working. One of the rules that people are still using is Ayni. What means Ayni? Pay work with work. Ayni means reciprocity. Ayni means to share. I said when I came here, Ayni means potluck. You know what you do when you do potluck? You share. Ayni is this. Ayni is reciprocity. So this is one of the rules that the people are still using in the place where I live. Because maybe the income, you know, and not as much money, and they can use just these rules. But they are still leading into the reciprocity. And the last is service. Service is very important for our ancients. And it is still for the people where I live. What means service? To share the wisdoms. Where we share the wisdoms? In the home. This point is really the very important, and with this we understand that why to be married is serious in my home place. Because the family is the very important for one human being. It's the most important. The parents in my home place, the father teaches to his sons everything he knows. The mother to her daughters, everything she knows. That is the first sharing of, or the first service that the parents do to the children. Teach, love, work, service. Teach the first values, and this is the most important for one human being. So service is the part that the people can share the wisdoms. Where? In the family. So these are the three first things. And the rules, 3 rules that we have as well. These rules also Incas used. Maybe when you've been in Cusco, you have heard about this. Pre-Inca, we are still using. Aymara people, we are still using. And are 3 rules. These rules are don't lie, don't steal, and don't be lazy. Imagine to live just with these 3 rules. I think these 3 rules, we need to understand the inner meaning of this. And probably we will not need the government rules, the government laws, when we understand the inner meaning of these 3 rules. Don't lie, don't steal, and don't be lazy. If you put just in your house these 3 rules, probably you will change it. It's easy. If I don't lie myself, I will not lie others. If I don't steal myself, I will not steal others. The thing is to understand the inner meaning of these 3 rules. The other 3 ones is the connection with the Mother Earth. Many people ask it, who am I? For what I am here? It's all time the question this. Who am I? For what I'm here? What I'm doing here? The answer of this question is when you understand what we do in this earth. What we do in this earth, we prepare. You also prepare your life. We plow, I mean, when we prepare the land. Then we sow. You also sow in your life. Then we harvest. You also harvest in your life. So when you understand what you do in this earth, probably you will understand who you are and for what you are here. It's easy. It's a relationship with the Mother Earth. It's the relation with the Pachamama. It's the connection with the Pachamama. And the last 3 ones is the belief in the 3 worlds. Our ancients, they had the belief in the 3 worlds. Upper world, this world, and under. We call it this, in Aymara, we call it Alajpacha, Acapacha, Mancapacha. these three words, of course, the scientific side, they say this was for ignorance. We don't suppose our ancients, they were ignorant. We suppose they did a huge search to understand how the three worlds are connected. They said these human beings of this earth, we depend from the upper and under. A very ancient calendars in the world started by the belief of these three worlds. It is really very important for the human beings in this life. Our ancients, they represented by the condor, the upper world, this, the puma, and under, the snake. There was a reason why they represented and why they had the belief in this. I think to talk about this, there are so many things, but I can just put it something as the science they said about this. Of course, they said it was for ignorance, but in the other way, in the scientific side, they say there are three theories. One is the systematic, which means all the pacha. The pacha is all over the world. Is formed by parts. Can you imagine all the universe? And all this universe is very important for one human being. Upper, under, all. It's something as the computer. It's something as a one human being. The most important part in our body, we can say is all. It's all. If we don't have all, we are not be here. This is the theory systematic. And the other one is the theory, the holistic. What means this? Each part is important. And we are in part of this. We are important in this earth, of course. We are important. The sun is important in this earth, in this universe, of course. It is very important. Without the sun, we can't live here. The water is important in this earth, of course. It is very important. The earth is important, of course. The air is important, of course. So, in the theories that the scientific side said, it's the same that as we said, alajpacha, acapacha, manjapacha. It's the same. It's the same that we can say that how our ancients, they had the belief on this is the most important that we can see. There is one example I can tell you about how the upper side life influenced these human beings, and then you can understand about the theories. Women, we depend by the moon. Many midwives, we follow the moon when the woman is pregnant to know what will be the baby and to know when the baby will come. And actually, you know, this point is very important. The birth of one human being is the most important moment. That's why the midwives, they follow the moon to watch when the baby will come, how the baby will come. Actually, in the Harry world, we go to the hospital, we have the baby, take a shower, and we go to work. They don't mind about how important was the birth of this human. How will be the behavior of this human? And who will see? The midwives. How? Watching the moon. The moon is important for women. So upper side life influenced this human. They said also each human being, we have one start in the upper side. So maybe it's true. The sun. Can you imagine the life without the sun? No life. Can't live. So upper side life influenced. How about under? Why many ancient cultures, they represented the life under a snake or a serpent? Why? Because in this earth there are waves. Waves all over. That's why right now I can speak in the microphone, because the waves is taking the voice all around. Actually, we can use cell phone. You know this how the waves work. You know, you can call anywhere in the world. That's why actually you know that we can use a microwaves. How works the microwaves? Because are waves. There are magnetic lines all over. Some people know this as a ley lines. Did you hear about the ley lines? There are magnetic lines all over. But the most important in the earth, in the Pachamama, is the axis. The axis is not a stick. It's a big magnetic line and moves as a big serpent. We know scientifically how the world moves around the axis every 13,000 years. This, you know, helped to the ancient cultures to make the calendars. Did you hear last year about the Maya calendar? You know that the world will end, will collapse. According to our ancients, the ancient belief of the Inca and pre-Inca people, they said the Pachacuti. What means Pachacuti? Pacha is a word. Kuti is a change. The world will change, will not collapse. So December 21st, the world changed it. They said the axis was 13,000 years in the masculine power. That's why everything was for men. Presidents, mayors, principals, men, men, men. According to our ancient calendars, the axis in December 21st was shifted into the feminine power. Now everything will be for women. I think now at last, men, you enjoyed your time. This is our time, they said. 13,000 years we were really in the masculine power. And you know, the Pachamama is feminine. 13,000 years probably we were destroying our earth. We were doing so many bad things because the Pachamama was weak without her power, masculine power. And the Pachamama is feminine. And we were really doing so many bad things. They said, after December 21st, the axis will be shifted in the feminine power. We are now in the feminine power. But the thing is, we need to help. We need to heal. We need to keep. We need to save. It's our home. And then after probably in 5 or 6 or 10 years more, this earth will permit us to live as in a paradise. It's really the feminine time. Now about why the feminine time? What do we need to do in this feminine time? We know since our ancients, women were more connected with the Pachamama. Were the ones that they said it, men were the hunters and women were the gatherers. They did the gathering of many things. Probably because our ancient women, we learned about the herbs, we learned about the medicine, we learned about many things. So women were the most important, started to heal, started to talk with the Pachamama, started to learn the connection with the spirits, because we're the first ones. Started to talk with the spirits, the mountains, the stones, the water, the sun, all around, because we were more connected. Probably we were the ones that we've been at home having the baby, you know, but we had more connection. And actually, we have still. I think we can understand, each of us, how is the connection of the mother more with the Mother Earth. I said, in our Andean beliefs, the women is the most important in the life of one human being. In our beliefs, the women lead and teach and learn many things. Is the first was connected with the Mother Earth. Is the one who learned singing songs for the babies. Actually, we are still this. Can you imagine the father singing songs? The ones who learn it is the mother. The mother is the most important for one human being, teaching one human being. So we need to understand how important is the women. Of course, men is important, but we need to understand the most important for one human being is the women. And then we need to understand about our Pachamama. What is the mama? The Pachamama is the mother. The mother really does all the connection, upper world, this and under. How is the connection? We can understand clearly when the mother feeds us water. From where it takes the water? From under. The mother feeds us food. Where comes the food? From this earth. So with this we can understand the theories that the scientific side said, and we can understand how is the women, how is the really mother, how is one mother, and from where we came here to this life, from the mother. You can see this in these some pictures that actually women is the one who did medicine healing. Because on the life, they learned. All time as a women, we are just asking, how can I heal this? What can I do with this? I have a baby, or I have a grandbaby, a grandson, a grandchildren, is sick with this. How can I heal? So the question is all time of the mother. So since we started learning to have a baby, we are healers. Because we learn to heal many things in our daily life, with our children, with our friends, with our neighbors, with all around, with our husbands, with our brothers, with our sisters. We do that. So women, we are the ones in charge to do the healing. We are the ones in charge to do the medicine healing to this Pachamama. We are the ones that we can start leading everybody to heal the Pachamama, because now the Pachamama is really sick. You know, as I said, in my home place, to be married is really serious. Probably that's why when they do the service rule to share the wisdoms, is the most important. There is such a special rules they do still in some communities around the Lake Titicaca. One is in one island, I think some of you visited. And the garb is still. Can you see men wearing the single hat and a married hat? Easily to recognize who is available and who is not available. The white one is available, and the red one is not available. It's such a funny, but you know it's serious. With this we can understand how important is the respect between men and women. So how we can see that still the ceremonies for wedding. There will be such a special ceremony where they will sit 3 months before and 1 month after. Why 3 months before? They do such a long ceremonies. Sit, both of them, the bride and the groom. And the parents from both of them, they will be in the front of them, asking. They will ask to him, you really love her? What do you know to her? Do you know the qualities of this? Do you know the defects of this? And the parents of her will say some defects that the man doesn't know. Can you imagine the defects? Sometimes we don't show up our defects. But they said when you know the defects of the other one, you love serious. And you will love ever. And same is for the other side. The family of the bride will ask to her, no, the groom will ask to her about him. Do you really love him? What do you know about my son? Do you know the qualities of my son? Do you know the defects of my son? And they will say also the defects. It's such a hard questions, you know? And then sometimes you get tired and you said, I don't want to be married because you will know the defects. Yeah. But they said after, when you know the defects, when you really love the person, you really love also included the defects of the person. That's why probably to be married is really serious. And people are actually, they go, some people from other places, they go there to be married. Then after the wedding, they will stay together 1 month. The father teach the groom, both of them, what he needs to learn. The mothers, both of them to the bride, what she needs to learn. So to be married really is very serious, and it's important for one, for the life, for the society. This is such a special learning that they do in that island. Men knit. Can you imagine? And the man does his own work, his own hat, knitting. So the father teaches to his sons everything he knows. The mother to her daughters, everything she knows. So this is the first learning and sharing the wisdoms. You can just understand, our ancients, no school. The first school was really the family. That's why actually I said, my mother was my first university because I learned with her many things. She was teaching many things. So the first school is the family. Actually, in the Harry world, we said, my children are very well educated because I pay the most expensive school. The most expensive school is the family, where the parents will teach to the children, especially the values. Will teach to the children, don't lie, don't steal, don't be lazy, love, work, service, Ayni, reciprocity. This is the most important for one human being. Actually, the children, they don't want to hear the parents. You know what the parents or what the children do? You know, this point is very important. What means symbiosis? Do you know about that word? We need to be with something. Without anybody, we can die, they said. The necessity that we really need. Not the necessity that we need iPad, no. The necessities that as a human being we really need. We do symbiosis in the earth. Without the earth, we can't live. We do symbiosis with the sun. Without the sun, we can't live, we can die. We do symbiosis with the moon. Without the moon, we can't live, we can die. So symbiosis we do all around. When I put this example, I really want you to understand how important is the parents, the father and the mother for one baby, for one human being. And also, babies do symbiosis with the parents. Can you imagine the baby alone can die, you know? What we do actually. And this is our life. Of course, we are together. The mother is there with the baby. But I can say they are totally isolated. The mother is working with the baby, but I can say it's totally isolated. That's why in this world, actually, we can see how the behavior of the new generation people. How important is the mother? You can see also here what we do. This is the really example that we have at home. Actually, with the hard world, everybody is with this. The mother is trying to feed the food, but the children. So this is really the truly example that we have in our life. With this, you can understand how important we are as a mother, how important is our Mother Earth, and how important we are as a women. How important we are for one human being in this life, in this earth. You know, they say that the base of the society is not the family, it's the couple. The marriage is the foundation of the society. When the couple will be still divorcing or be separated, we will really disintegrating our society. And we will be still living as in rotting this society. So with this we can understand how important we are as a woman, and also how important is our Pachamama. Probably that's why in my home place, to be married is really serious. When we understand that how the base of the society is not the family, it's the couple. And when the couples will be still disintegrating, divorcing, probably is the beginning for the war. Why the war? Because the couple are disintegrating. It's one step for the war. So, after this, what I want is to tell all the mothers to do as a new awakening and to understand how important we are, and also to learn for teaching to the new generation people and teaching the people to keep our Mother Earth, because we live in this earth. Thank you. Gracias. Any questions?
Can you tell us about the coca leaves in your ceremony?
About
the coca leaves?
The coca leaves. Well, the coca is one of the medicine. I think probably was one of the ancient medicine that our ancients used in Peru. Andean people, we are still using our coca leaves. Of course, actually, it's a very controversial because the cocaine, you know. And our ancients, they used as a food. Coca is one of the plants in the world that contains a long amount of nutrients. All the vitamins, A, B, C, B12. We compare it a little with the spinach. You remember Popeye? With one can is strong. We said Popeye needs to have coca. Because coca contains more than 3 times than the spinach. It's one of the leaves in the world that contains a long amount of nutrients. It's very nutritious. Spinach is less, so you can have the idea. Our ancients, they used as a medicine. Coca can cure more than 50 illnesses. It's good really for everything. When you go to Peru, you will be permitted to have a coca tea. You know why? For altitude sickness. Because there in the high Andes, not so much oxygen. So having coca leaves will help you to irrigate your blood to the head. So it's very good as a medicine. It's good for the heart. It's good for 50 illnesses. And then we used as a sacred leaves. We use, as you use a sage, a cedra, all the medicines, we use as a sacred leaves. Actually, I said we use as hostie in the Catholic religion. We use as a wine and bread because we are still offering to all our deities. The controversial point is that coca is original from South America. That's why we have a problem with the narco-traffickers, you know. A lot of people that they go to make the drug, the cocaine in this case. But in South America, there are 200 varieties of coca, many. This point is the most controversial. Between the 200, three just contains the cocaine alkaloid. That's why the narco-traffickers, they need so many tons of coca leaves per 1 kilo. 3 contains. The narco-trafficking power, they don't want to isolate the ones with and the ones without, because we can go directly to the narco-traffickers. That is the controversial point. When we will be permitted to isolate the ones with and the ones without, probably we can be able to use the coca as a food. Contains a lot of calcium. It's very, very good for osteoporosis. Diabetes is very, very good. So when the people will learn about this, probably you will be able to take anywhere. Actually, I smuggled this once. Sorry.
Hello, Silvia. I hope you will tell us a little bit about your workshop tomorrow, because I want to say I traveled with Silvia in Peru in 2009, and she truly carries medicine and wisdom, and I hope you will come and bring all your friends, that you can share a little bit.
Well, as I said that I am a healer, I do medicine, and I do many kinds of medicine. Our ancients, in that part, we are called colla, and colla in Aymara means medicine. So we were the medicine people since our ancients. My grandmother was a healer, midwife, my mother was a healer and a midwife as well, so I learned from them many things to do the medicine. And I can do many things, you know, but I want to point out the use of the despacho ceremony for the Mother Earth, because we need to heal the Mother Earth. We need to learn how we can be connected with the Mother Earth. The despacho ceremony, and I can do some medicine for people that they are sick, maybe to do the basic things, because there are so many things to do when the person is sick. Depends what kind of ill they have as well. But we can do to help to some of this, and the use of the quinoa as a medicine. I think actually you know about the quinoa. Quinoa is a very special grain. It's a golden grain. They said actually is one of the, for the new generation food, because it's very nutritious, you know, the quinoa. But also our ancients, we used as a food. We used as a medicine. And we are still using this. So I can teach you, because quinoa easily you can find here. I can teach the use of the quinoa as a medicine, you know, because there are things that you can use for medicine. Actually, I know for example, for the breast cancer. And actually we know here there are people that they start to have this kind of cancer, breast cancer. So I can teach you the use of the quinoa, you know, and do the use of the, I was starting telling about the Nyustakarpai, or the initiation for kollas. So this means the same as the Nyustakarpai or the initiation for kolla. That means the ones they wanna start to be doing healing. The ones you really want to be healer, and using this natural medicine or doing this. So a little the initiation, I can teach you the use of the stones to open the chakras. But here, in my home place, we have different way to do, because the place is different. You know, when we do the ceremony in a different place, it needs to be connected with the place, with the earth, with the spirits in the place where you are. You know, I will not teach you to do in my home because it's far away. So here to call the spirits, to tell here, have the energy here and all this. Something about this Nyustakarpai or the kollas, you know, the healers. And so, yes, ma'am.
Do you work with the medicine of ayahuasca, and what are the healing properties of that plant, or those two plants?
Yeah. I know ayahuasca, our ancients used as a very sacred step in the life of one healer. I know some people they do. I know some people they trade with the ayahuasca. They want to do more. No. San Pedro and ayahuasca is one of the sacred steps that you can do. And it's something that you do here, a vision quest. Something very similar. But I said, when you want to do this, is in the last step that you do. You need to be very prepared. You need to learn to do same as when you do the vision quest, you do the sun dance, and you do fasting. Our ancients, they used to fast 2-3 months. That was to be in the last step in the ayahuasca or in the San Pedro. Some healers teach the people to do San Pedro just, you know, or some healers will teach the people to do ayahuasca. For me, it's one of the sacred steps that you can do when you are a healer. It's something when you seek all your fears and you became so clean, same as Jesus. In the metaphysics, we say that who was Jesus Christ? Jesus was the normal man. It's a normal, regular man, maybe with defects, with many things. What he did, he seek his inner fears. He did a lot of forgiveness. Then they said he found the Christ, and then became Jesus Christ, I think, each of us, we have Jesus, we have our Christ. So when we want to be Jesus Christ, we can do the last step in ayahuasca or in San Pedro. More questions? Okay, I just want at the end of this, you stand up and please, if you can be in the hands.
Like this. We can just triple. Here you go. Shut this inside a circle.
Okay.
I will end praying in my language, and then at last we will do 3 words and you will answer, okay? Portland, Pachamama, Hichuruja, Kauhitaru, Purtanta, Akahilatan Kuyakan Akampi, Part Awiri, Unanst Awiri, Kuyakan Akaru, Pachamama, Alach Pacha, Akapacha, Manjapacha, Akautamaru Purtanta, Hichurusti con Korkayuni, Akamaipacha, Hilatanakaru, Kuyakanakaru, Unanst Awiri, Kunatsti Unanst Awatajasti, Chuima Manjaparu Purpana, Manjaman Chuima Paru Purpana, Antak Pacharo Tumpach Pachani, Mai Pacharo Tumpach Pachani, Alach Pacha. Taita, alach pacha taita, mancha pacha taita, akapacha taita, alach pacha mama, akapacha mama, mancha pacha mama, hichuro humar purtantma, akatach pach santa uiwiri mamanaka, tatanaka huma unashtawata. Everybody will answer Halyaya 3 times. And arms up. Halyaya Pachamama. Halyaya! Halyaya Pachamama! Halyaya! Halyaya Pachamama! Halyaya! Yus Pagara, gracias. Thank you.